Hello everyone. So for these many days and over the internet, we have seen that everyone is talking about how you should be following the prompt engineering, how should you construct your prompt. But there is something which is advanced than the prompt engineering. Using the prompt, you just ask AI to work. But what if like AI itself work for you? It detects the problems, it act itself and then just give you final output just for review purpose. So today we are going to show you that how we can make AI to work in more advanced way. So till now, most of the people are treating AI like a conversational partner. They just think of AI like a search engine. They ask some question, then AI responds back, and then they just copy paste that and save. But this is manual, reactive, and to be honest, this will not scale. But what happens when you stop treating AI as a conversational partner, but instead we and start treating AI like a system controller? Today I am going to show you that how are we going to transition from using the basic prompting to continuous stateful automation engineering. So instead of waiting for a human to type a command, the AI controller constantly observes a system environment. It evaluates its state, it executes action automatically. So let's look at the actual architecture layout I have put together to see how this works and how the workflow completely changes the key. So now on my screen you must be seeing that, just for example, I'm giving the example of DevOps where the Kubernetes environment has been taken into the consideration. So as you all know, in DevOps the world changes before you even ask a question. So for example, if let's say there is anything which is failing in your Kubernetes cluster and you start debugging, you are just getting some logs and then you using those logs, you are asking your AI to figure out what the problem is and get to the actual root cause and then trying to implement that change into the Kubernetes. By that time, the most of the damage might have happened. So what if like instead of you doing all this stuff, why not to get the AI work for you? So AI checks the logs, AI check the pond, get those logs and figure out what the problem is, and then doing the RCA, it just gets you that what is the fix it has prepared. It just creates the summary and give it to you just to review. You review what changes the AI is going to make, and if that looks good, you just approve it. And on behalf of you, AI goes and implement those changes and those fixes, and your environment is up and running. So here, like you see, there were a couple of stages, but if we use AI correctly, we can bypass almost 80% of the work, which can be done automatically by the AI. Right here is the core engine, our state simulator. As you all know, that in traditional setup, if the system metrics spike, the engineer has to log in and manually fix it. With the controller in loop, the AI is continuously monitoring, watch what happens when the state triggers. And then the loop detects the change, it evaluates the necessary logic and instantly fires off the deterministic automation task. It completely removes the manual friction, turning hours of the troubleshooting into the millisecond of automated response. So as of now, you might have understood that the prompt was just a request, but if we implement the loop, it is nothing but the operating model for you, which will be working for you. Now you must be wondering that, is it safe? Can we let AI to control our environment? Then the option is yes. It is completely safe and it gives you a control, because we are just introducing the AI where the operational stages are involved. We are not letting AI to take the final action. We are always keeping the human in loop, which means whatever AI has prepared come to you, and then after you reviewing the code or the solution proposed by AI, if you approve that, then only AI is going to take the action on your behalf. So it is completely controlled, just that we are giving all the operational work to AI. So there are a couple of tasks which AI performs for you. Now let me show you that what does that look like and what are the questions you might have in your head where the AI comes into the picture and AI work for you. So as you can see over my screen, so there are 5 questions, but all these questions create the loop, and the good loop is not AI fix this, it's a small operating contract. Now you can see that we have some questions like, so first is what system metric or the log should the AI observe? Can it be Kubernetes event or pod restart? And the second stage over here is the frequency. So how often should it check? Should it check every 5 minutes, every day, every hour, or every week? And then the third question is what problem it should detect. So what specific change or the anomaly it is hunting for. If there is, let's say, in Kubernetes, the pod is going through the crash loop back off or out of memory, or if there is any sudden jump into the cost, these events I want AI to detect. And then what AI should prepare for you, what investigation steps or automated analysis should it perform when a change is found. Example, reading the logs or checking the deployment difference. Then comes the human key, and this is nothing but where the AI must halt and wait for a human operator to explicitly give the approval. For example, before executing a rollback or resource deletion, I want AI to always ask a human whether this action is approved or not, and then only AI takes the action. Similarly, we can follow where the customers are involved. If the production environment is involved, then everywhere we think that it should be going through the human, then only implement the human gate in that complete loop. As an example over here, you can see what the loop for Kubernetes would look like. So first is AI watches the deployment, and then it found that there is one event where the pod restart count crossed the threshold. So it reads the previous 300 log line. It compares with the last deployment if there was any change into the image tag, and then it checks the memory if there is any similar issue with the missing environment variables or not, which would have happened previous. Then the next stage is like it found the probable cause that the database URL environment variable was missing. Then it drafted the summary for you, and it also created the rollback command for you. And the last stage where it involves human to get the approval required before the rollout, before performing any action which was there into the summary. So with these stages in mind and keeping the human gate involved in the loop, you are always safe, you are always ahead of everyone, where AI performs all the donkey work for you and you are just there to review and finalize if that action needs to be taken care or not. To help you understand this quickly, what I have done is I have created a website where I have tried to visualize how the loop works, what are the different stages, and in each stage what action AI does and what that means. Okay, so let me quickly walk you through that loop and that visualization, which will give you a clear idea about it. So as you can see on my screen, there is only one loop, but it has 5 different stages. Okay, and if we hit the deploy, we can see that it is going from stage 1 to stage 2, stage 2 to stage 3, and so on. Now we will go through each step and what does that mean and what action it performs. So it starts with the observe phase, and in observe you can see, right, it observes the Kubernetes cluster, pod, events, logs, deployments, and service, and this is all you can define on your own, whatever you want the AI to observe. Then the next stage is remembering. So it remembers, it compares with the previous rollout history and whatever was there into the previous version. The next is detection. It detects what problem was caused, and you can define these events, whatever you want the AI to detect in your environment. Then act. This is the important stage where AI evolves. It reads the logs, it compares the deployment difference, then it checks what was the probable cause, it drafts the summary for you, and also with the solution, whatever solution is going to fix that problem. So the action is prepared for you, but just that it is not executed. So for the execution stage, it comes to you, and here the human gate is involved, where the human actively seeks, where the human actively go through what solution AI has prepared, and if that looks correct to you or not, and whether you want to proceed with taking that action in your environment. So as you see, right, so it is completely systematic. It does every step, it follows every step, and then only it creates the solution for you. And even you also decide, like, if there are some non-production environment or non-critical work, then you may want that AI would take action on your behalf. So in that cases, you might not want to involve the human loop. You might want to get it automated completely. But in some cases where the production environment is involved, or where the customer is involved, in that cases you might want you to look after or review the work before it is getting executed in your production, or AI sends any communication to the customer or outside world, or the external parties. So now we understood that how can we make the loop. But does that mean that you should be creating loop for everything? The answer is no, because you should be only creating loop for the repetitive events. Otherwise, it does not make sense. Like, how many loops you will create, right? So if there is any repeated task you are doing every day or whenever the event happens, then only you should be thinking about creating the loop for that task. Okay, so let's see that quickly. So on my screen you can see that we should not create loop for everything. We should be creating loop for only the right work. And loop is only useful when the task has the repeated signal or the task has repeated events. So how will you take the decision whether you want to build the loop or not? Then there are some actions which you need to look after. So for example, if there is any observable and repeatable pattern which you have seen, if yes, please go ahead. Then you have to consider that AI should only draft and not decide. For every decision, you should involve human in the loop. So loop can prepare the analysis, but final judgment needs to be decided by you. And where should you involve the human? So everywhere where you think that there is a high trust impact, anything where it is touching production or money or customers, if there is anything legal or reputation, then there should be a stop by AI. You should come into the action in that place. So AI should always get approval before sending anything to any external parties. It should get approval before deploying in production, and it should get approval before spending if there is money involved. So once you understood these things, you can build the loop. Now you must be wondering that how you build the loop, how will you get to know that what actions AI can take if you are just knowing the basic prompt. Then in that website I have built you something as a boilerplate where you would be putting the prompt into the simple English language, and then it would detect if there is any loop involved and what action can be taken care by AI and where you think that the human in loop should be involved. So we will quickly see that. So as you can see here, this is where you can find the section in the website where you can see that there are a couple of text boxes. On the left hand side you see there is the option to give the prompt in the basic, the normal English, and we see there are some loop types. For now, as an example, I have just considered a couple of them, like Kubernetes, then the CI/CD release, if there is any career watcher or a generic loop. For now, we will be taking the example of the career watcher, because what happens is like most of you are hunting for a job. So what you do is like every day you wake up and then you ask AI that what are the position open for matching for your role, and then it lists down all the position from the past history and then current as well. But out of that 50 listed jobs, you might have already applied to some of them, but AI does not remember that, and that's where the AI loop comes into the picture. So we will quickly see that if we give a basic prompt here, how it converts that to the loop. So I'm just giving that if there are any openings for DevOps role in MNC. I'm just selecting the loop type as career watcher and hitting the generate loop instruction. On the right hand side, you must be seeing that it has given us what was the original one-time prompt, and then it has rewritten it as a loop. So you can see that there are some stages where it has created like what should be done in every stage. So what stage where it is targeting the company career page, LinkedIn alerts, then the role pages for SRE, DevOps, and the matching role. Then it has decided the frequency that it would check that every 6 hours. Then what it is going to detect the change in, it is going to detect like if there is any new role matching the location, experience, keywords, and the seniority which you might have given it as a filters. And then it will prepare the summary of that role, match it against your resume, identify the gaps, and draft a personalized application note for you. And then it has the human get involved, where it stops before submitting that application, sending the message or editing the resume, or applying that directly, sending the email to the recruiter. So now you understood, right? So from stage 1 to stage 4, all can be done by AI itself, and you have everything ready for you to review what are the new jobs and how to submit it. Even the draft is also created by AI. You just have to review and send it. That's all. I have given couple of other options over here to try out. So I'll be putting this website link into the description so you can play around with this, and also you can try generating the loop for your day-to-day activities where you see the repeated pattern. I hope you like the video. We have just seen that how differently we should be seeing AI and how different approach we can use if we are using AI into our day-to-day activities. We are just moving from a reactive AI to the stateful proactive controller, and that's how we scale the modern operations. So AI is just doing the heavy lifting for you and you are just sitting at the pilot seat, and that's how we can reduce the amount of time we were spending with AI doing this stuff, so that you can utilize that time for your more productive work or invest that in learning something new or implementing something new. I hope you like the video. If yes, and if you learned something new, please hit like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the next videos we will be doing on the AI and the DevOps technology world.